Hey, it's Gary. Hope you're doing well. I want to thank you for stopping by. We're going to talk today about why you should not have a plan B. And I would love to see your comments below. By the way, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd certainly appreciate that due to the fact that somebody enjoyed hacking me and lost 3,000 videos, so we're starting from scratch. I'm in the beautiful island of St. Martin today. I'm here for another day or two. So I want to share with you the importance of not having a plan B, psychologically why it's so important to stay with plan A, and then why people have a tendency to jump over to a plan B so quickly. And it's basically one major reason why people do that. All right, so let's talk about this. If you have a big goal, it can be small, but your big goals that you really are having to be very, very committed to. I've found that there's 4 things that will always happen when you have a huge goal. As you work toward the goal, you will find out that it often takes more time, money, energy, and effort. More time, money, energy, and effort. So what happens is we go into this goal, whatever it is, very often we go in what I refer to as being irrationally optimistic. We think everything is going to work, like if you're in sales or you're in business, if I get 10 of these and I sell them at this, I can make this much money. And if I get 20 of them, I can make this, I get this much money. That's great, but if we get it, you got to get it. And then when you put in that time, energy, and effort, you realize, oh, wait a minute, wow, this is a little bit more challenging. There's a lot more involved than you thought. So now, we thought we went into this committed, but before you know it, we start to want to think about jumping the fence. The grass is greener on the other side. And here's why psychologically we have a tendency to do that. Number one, it's one word, pain. There's too much pain. We're putting in more effort than we wanted to or thought we would, so there's an emotional pain there. We're putting in more time. We're putting in more money, so there's an emotional pain. There's a financial pain. And then when we're not getting results, that's a huge pain right there. So we're putting all this effort for no results. More effort, no results. More effort, no results. More effort, no results. So it only makes sense to think that, well, this must not be right. It must be wrong. Something is not working. Let's start going over here. But here's the problem. Here's the huge problem when you go to a plan B. From a psychological standpoint, when you go to a plan B, you immediately shut off the possibilities of being more creative and being more innovative. It's shut off, it's done. Let me give you a crazy, kind of odd example, but it's so true. I was watching, I think it was like a documentary of people in prison, and in that documentary, it showed how ridiculously creative these prisoners were. They had made alcohol out of the straw, orange peels from the orange that they got from the restaurant for their meals. So they use those orange peels and other fruits and stuff, and they're making alcohol out of that under their bed. Somebody figured that out, how to ferment it all. One guy, he's not the only person, he figured out how to get a needle out of something, I don't know, and he's doing tattoos. So now he actually tattooed his eyeball. His whole eyeball is red. He tattooed his own eyeball. But the thing is, what I'm getting at is we become creative. We're forced to be in that prison. There's no way out. You have no other choice. There is no plan B. So your plan A says you're going to become more creative. You're going to become more innovative. Now, it's not fun to be in jail, but you create things anyway. So it's not fun to be in emotional or financial jail. But if you get out, you will not know how to make your tattooed eyeball, right? So here's what I've learned. I have learned, and I know when it happens, which is really exciting, even though it's painful. I know when it happens. I am on a journey right now on a huge plan A. And man, I've been wanting to switch up plan B, switch up plan B, switch up plan B. And because I have forced myself to stay onto the plan A, I am coming up with creative ideas that I know that I would have never in a million years come up with if I jumped over to plan B. And I want you to think about maybe other people who have created successes because they stayed with plan A. Maybe there's something that you have done successfully that you decided, I'm going to do this. You thought about quitting, You thought about the plan B, you thought about the grass is greener on the other side, but you decided for whatever reason, you got really committed and you said, look, I'm going to stick with this. I'm not going to move on. I'm going to hang on. I'm going to stay the course. And you created a strategy. You created some idea that would not have come up if you went to plan B. If you have an example of that, I would love in your comments below. I would love to see that below. And I realize, even though it can be super ridiculously challenging, I am forced to come up with ways. In fact, we just came up with one for one strategy, I don't know, about maybe about a month and a half ago. And I can't say it's working yet within the plan A, but I truly believe it will. But there is some progress, and progress that I'm happy with. So that idea would not have come up if I had switched courses. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking that idea and I'm nourishing it, and that idea is all within the focus for my plan B, to keep my plan B going. And the idea of staying focused, locking yourself up, if you will, in jail and creating things that you never would have, that's where that human spirit comes out, and it forces you to do the things that the other people normally won't do. And remember, the reason people to jump over to plan B, you see some people, they get things started and they never finish, and they get things started and they never finish. One, they're probably too irrationally optimistic, and they don't have a pattern of being consistent, and because they can't handle the pain, they move on. One thing I've learned in life is learn how to tolerate emotional pain. If you have a small tolerance to emotional pain, you will always find a plan B. You'll never stick with plan A, and it will never be successful. So a question for you on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how much tolerance do you have toward emotional pain? I unfortunately probably have too much, because man, I'll knock myself out with making sure I figure things out. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how strong are you, or how much are you willing to handle emotional pain? If you're at a 3 or a 4 or even a 5, you will probably jump, if you don't quit, to a plan B a lot quicker than the average person. So what if you're at a 3 or a 5? Well, what I'm going to encourage you to do is recommit to your goals. How bad do you really want it? And when I remind myself how bad I really want it, I go out and taste and feel and see it. You know, this type of lifestyle, this type of lifestyle that I live does not come from just once in a blue moon making things happen. This comes from consistency, staying with my plan A, feeling and touching and smelling this and saying, I want more of this lifestyle. So if I go to plan B, I got to kind of like start all over again. And that's not the goal. You've created lessons and learned so much by starting your plan A. So by jumping over to plan B, you've kind of blown all the lessons, right? Anyway, there you have it. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Love to see your comments below. I'm out of here. Between now and the next time we get in the chat, you know what to do. Don't let anything or anyone rent space in your head and force you to change from plan A to plan B. Stick with your plan E. No plan E. Stick with plan C. No, stick with your plan A. It's not always going to be easy, but in time it'll work. We'll see you. Have a blessed day. Love to see your comments below, and hope you subscribe.